what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Sully Squad. I guess you could call it a solar eclipse Sully Squad. Some cool stuff today. Any of you guys have the glasses and look up?
Yeah, I got to check it out.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope. How about you?
Yeah, I liked it too, man. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I got the glasses and I went out around 3:23, checked it out. It was pretty dope. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Kid and work got some pretty killer pictures.
Nice.
Fortunately,
yeah, but anyway, hey, so that was today, and but we got a lot to get into here. A lot going on in the Philadelphia sports scene. We got I guess I'll start with the bad first. The Flyers. I mean, what the hell happened to the Flyers, dude? It's like 1964 Phillies collapse. I mean, the Flyers have lost 7 in a row. They look I think a couple weeks ago they had like a 70-some% chance of the playoffs. Now they're down to like a 20-some% chance. If the season ended, they're now behind the Penguins. The Penguins look like they were playing out the string. The Penguins are now technically tied with the Flyers in points, but they played one less game. So Flyers are now in danger of missing the playoffs. They probably are going to miss the playoffs. So we'll get into them. Phillies with a good weekend in Washington. They took 2 out of 3. Got a little bit of lineup concerns, so we'll touch on that. And then we got a red-hot basketball team. I mean, Philadelphia 76ers on a big-time streak here. Let's see how many Sixers have won 5 in a row. Embiid's come back, and Embiid's been playing really well. And then Maxey dropped a 50-piece last night. So the 6th seed is within reach, but I think they need Indiana to lose 2 of the last 3, so I'm not so sure about that. But hopefully they at least get the 7 and host the Heat here. So we're going to get in on all that. I got my usual cast here. I got my man Sean Kilrain to my to my right. How you doing, Sean?
chilling, man. How are you guys doing?
Chilling like a villain, dog. And below Sean, I got my man Mr. 6 for 6, Diego Bianchi's. Looks like you're rocking a Sixers, John, dude.
Yeah, I got a Sixers hoodie on, dude.
All right. So how you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. So, I want to get a lot of Sixers, but you know what? How about if we start off with the bad real quick? Let's get them out of the way. Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, total collapse. I mean, what a disappointment. It's one thing to lose some of these games, when they lost to some of these good teams. But I mean, you go to Buffalo and you lose. You go to the worst was Columbus. I mean, how the hell do you lose 6-2 from Columbus? I don't know. I feel like it's a case of some tired legs and maybe just a little worn out. Diego, what's your thoughts?
I think we have to put the Flyers more into perspective. They're overachievers to begin with. They're supposed to be one of the worst teams in hockey this year. They got a little hot. They won games they probably shouldn't have. And if we're being real, the Flyers aren't that good. They have no one who can finish scoring. TK, since his injury, hasn't been the same TK before his injury. 50 goals would have been a lot for him to score, 40, 50 goals. Tippett's nice, but he needs some help. The Flyers really don't have that many great players. So I think the Flyers overachieved. I think they had a good season for what it is. Talk about playoffs. We're supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, it sucks they were out against the end. I just think once all these other teams with more talent than us really buckle down for a playoff stretch, they have the players to make a playoff run. We don't.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, just to get back to the eclipse, Mike Lauro got a 3rd leg after the eclipse. So apparently the eclipse does some wonders. I don't know. Mike Lauro's wife might be walking around with a smile in a couple days.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've always had a 3rd leg.
Tripod, baby. Tripod.
Yeah. So Sean, what's your perspective on the Flyers? Do you think that they let me ask you, do you think that anything that has to do with maybe Schwartz's message getting lost, or do you think that has anything to do with it?
I think we talked about it in our group text, towards his old school. Some guys take it, some guys take it to heart, But just like Diego said, they only have that one guy. They don't have multiple scorers, like for example, like your Toronto Maple Leafs, the good teams, Avalanche. It's just sad to see, but it is what it is, and they just gotta regroup for next year. But like I said, I think they're done, just like you guys said.
Yeah, I mean, we traded Walker. Walker was key to our season this year. We traded him. Like, Flyers wanted to stay in rebuild mode. So when you look at it that way, the plans of the organization are going to plan.
Yeah, Mike Laura with a good point here. He says the Flyers have a great young core. Now free agents will want to come here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could say they have a great young core just yet, but they do have But they do. I agree with Mike in the fact that they do have a. Hang on a second. Flyers aren't done. They're going to get in. I love you, Mike, but I got to disagree with you there. I mean, I'm looking here. Flyers last 4 at Montreal, at the Rangers, the Devils here, and the Capitals. I mean,
that's 1 and 3.
Yeah,
they're out.
And the Rangers need to win because I'm looking at the standings here. The Rangers have 110 points. Boston has 107. So the Rangers want to stay ahead of Boston for the number 1 seed. I guess if there's a saving grace, I think the Islanders have to play the Rangers once or twice. So if that's the case, maybe the Islanders can take an L or two. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not liking our chance. I mean, Detroit is still catchable. Detroit has 84 points. Flyers have 83, and they've played the same amount of games. No, I'm sorry. It's actually the Flyers played one more game than Detroit. I don't see it. I don't see it, bro, because the Detroit's already ahead of us, and they've played one less game. Now Pittsburgh's tied with us. The Capitals are tied with us, and the Islanders are 2 points ahead, and they've all played one less game than us. So, the only way the Flyers get in is if these teams kind of have to collapse a little bit for the Flyers. And the Flyers basically got to go 4-0.
Yeah, and that ain't happening. Like we said, they're just missing scores, like we said earlier. It's a shame, but hopefully with the free agent period, some guys want to come over here and play, So
yeah, well, there's Mike does have a point here. He says Islanders play the Rangers 2 times. Caps play Boston, Tampa, and Flyers. Yeah, but that's only 2 though. The Flyers still you still got Pittsburgh and you still got Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So
they're not going to beat out all these teams.
No.
So they're not going to win all 4 games to begin with.
Yeah, you got.
Although there is 2 spots. Although you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, though, there are 2
There's
spots.
2 spots.
There's 2
There's
spots.
2 spots. 5 teams competing for them 2 spots.
Yeah, because you got what? Islanders paying. Yeah, 5 teams for 2 spots.
Okay.
The Flyers just aren't good enough right now to be better in the last 4 games than 3 of them teams.
Exactly.
Let me see what let me look at the Red Wings schedule real quick. Hang on. Let's see. Red Wings schedule.
There's a team that finishes the year with Montreal back-to-back games. Who's that?
That might be Detroit. Let's see. Yeah. But you know what? Here's kind of a bummer too. The 11th. Wait a minute. All right. Well, this is interesting. The Capitals and Red Wings play tonight. So.
Okay.
And then Detroit's at Pittsburgh. Okay. So Detroit's at Pittsburgh, but see that means one of those teams are going to get 2 points. So that doesn't. So if you think about it, it doesn't necessarily help us because someone's going to get 2 points tonight. Someone's going to get 2 points when they play Pittsburgh. Then they're at Toronto. They could lose that, but then they have 2 games, Montreal and then at Montreal. So I feel like Detroit probably wins the last 2. So that's 4 points right there. All right. I mean, maybe there's a path with Detroit, but the problem is though, then the other teams are going to get points. You
Yeah, I
know?
don't think there's much of a path. It's gonna be
No,
tough.
by the
Well,
skin of their teeth, man. Just
So
like we
if
said.
Flyers win all four, they'll get in.
right. But the way they're playing though, does it? I mean, they can't even win one right now, so it doesn't.
Right.
It's a
You know,
wrap if they play the way they play.
right. And you look at this Flyers team. I mean, like you said, Diego. I mean, they've overachieved most of the year. You know, the strength of the team was early in the year when they had the. You know, you had Hart and Ayrson as goalie 1 and goalie 1A were a great tandem. The minute Carter Hart left, all of a sudden you had no backup goalie, and that really hurt.
Right.
Then Urson played way too much, and the kid's had a really great year, but you could see he's kind of he's kind of lost it. I mean, he's played a lot of hockey. The Russian kid, has a lot of potential, but you saw him versus Buffalo. I mean, he didn't look like he was ready.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, and the other thing that really hurt the Flyers, like you brought up too, was the trade of Sean Walker. I mean, Sean Walker had a really good year here. He was really good at passing the puck out of the defensive zone. The
Penalty
Flyers
killer too.
What's
On
that?
top of that,
Penalty killer.
on top of that, Sealer missed a lot of time. Drysdale missed a lot of time. The
Right.
Flyers just not their year. It didn't end the way they're not good. They weren't good enough to make the playoff run.
Pittsburgh plays Toronto tonight. All right, so you got to.
Pittsburgh's on fire right now.
They are.
Four games in a row, yeah.
You know what's funny? On Saturday, I was running around. I was out running errands and stuff, and I texted the UPS driver, and the Pittsburgh was up 4-1. I was like, damn. I was like, y'all are on fire, because he's a Penguins fan, obviously. I was like, damn. I was like, you guys are on fire. I said, you guys are going to get in. The Flyers look like they collapsed. 10 minutes later or 15 minutes later, he texts me. He's like, dude, it's 4-4. I'm like, the mush worked. But then Pittsburgh scored and they won 5-4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
You're not John Lieb.
I thought I pulled a Lieb. You know what I mean? It's funny. Speaking of Lieb, like we've been doing this show. What we've been doing this show on Monday nights for what? Like at 6:00 for what? Like 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah. It's uncanny. He always tries to call. It's like 6:04. He's calling. I'm like, bro, I'm doing the show. Like, you know what I mean? It's funny. Worst timing, dude. You ever see the 40-year-old virgin? Remember the 40-year-old virgin where the guy was finally about to get a piece of ass, and then the guy was cleaning?
Yeah.
Remember the guy wanted to clean? He's like, get the F out.
Yeah.
That would be like Lieb. You'd be ready to get laid for like the first time of your life at like 40-some years old, and he'd be like calling or something. You'd be like, dude, stop. You know what I mean?
See ya. Gotta go.
So, all right. Well, you know what? Let's move on, but let's make a prediction in these next four. At Montreal, at the Rangers, Devils, and Caps. Is there any hope for this team?
No.
All right. What's the how many points do they get out of 8? Are they just totally in free falling mode, or do they get a few of these points?
They'll probably go like 2-2 or something.
Yeah, 2 points.
Okay, Mike Lauro has 3-1. That would give us 6 points. So
89. We'll be at 89 with that.
Yeah, see, I don't think 89 gets you in.
Nah.
I don't think 89 gets you in because the Islanders have. I mean, I know they got it. The Islanders got 5. The Islanders are 2 point. I don't know. You know what, dude? I can't. It's too complicated. Whatever. Just I'm gonna say the Flyers go 1-3 because I see a tired team when I see them.
Right there with you.
Mike Lauro says 7 points. Mike Lauro says 7 points. Overtime loss at Rangers. Well, I'll tell you what. Listen, as Flyers fans, I certainly hope that Mike is more right than I am because I don't like to throw in the towel, but to me, this team looks like a dead carcass to me.
Yeah,
it's hard, like you said.
They're done.
Exactly.
They look done. So, All right. Well, let's we'll move on for them. How about we go to a team that's just starting out here in the season, Philadelphia Phillies. It's way early to to get too concerned with the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies right now are 4-5. They just took 2 out of 3 from Washington over the weekend.
Yeah.
And also, did you guys see the big news out of Atlanta? Spencer Strider might need Tommy.
John.
I
Tommy
almost
John.
yeah, no, I wanted to say
It'll
Tommy
be a
John. I
That'll be
almost
his
said Tommy
second
John.
Tommy John surgery.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I know it's Tommy John. I almost said Tommy Gunn. Hey, yo. But anyway, though, they had a nice weekend in Washington, took 2 or 3. But I got to be honest, man, I'm kind of having a little concern with this lineup. Once again, dude, Castellanos is so streaky. He ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
Trey Turner's not doing shit so far. Rojas. I mean, I don't know, dude. I know it's early, but are we going to admit maybe this kid just isn't a major league hitter? What's your guys' thoughts on this lineup? Because the pitching's been great, but I'm a little concerned with this lineup. Sean, what do you think?
The same lineup.
What's that?
The same people. It's the same people we made the last 2 runs with. It's Harper. It's Turner. It's Castellanos. It's Schwarber. We know what they give us. There are nothing players. They're going to have streaks where they hit a lot of home runs. They're going to have streaks where they strike out a lot. Again, we're going to have to hope, just like the last 2 years, they turn it on when it's time to turn it on.
Yeah. I mean, I will say it is cold as fuck out there. I mean, that one game they played versus the Reds last week, I mean, I was surprised they even tried to play that, John. They
shouldn't. What, the Thursday night game, which was 36 degrees. Granted, it's cold, but somehow, some way they got it in.
Hitting season will come around.
You got to
June
change
and July
the
will be here faster than we know it.
You got to change that lineup. My thing is Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, JT. No, excuse me. Swap Marsh and JT, and then whoever's playing center field, Whit Merrifield, put him at 9th in Rojas' spot. But back to him, put him down in the minors, and let Pache and the other guys, get some more bats. Or even for Nick Castellanos, because Nicky 3 Buttons, he's looking like dog shit.
That's the problem with him, man. I mean, he, when he's going, I mean, he, look at him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Case in point, look at the playoffs last year. I mean, he goes out there, he's dominant in that Brave series. I mean, what did he hit? 4 homers in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? And then the Arizona series, I mean, he couldn't hit a medicine ball.
Well, they were trying to hit. Me, you, and Diego said it. That game, Arizona played small ball with the line shots, grounders, bloopers. We're trying to hit home runs out of Citizens Bank Park. We're not playing their game, and that's where they beat us. But they got to regroup. But
what do you guys
Turner
think?
with his errors, man, in the infield? Holy shit!
Yeah,
I don't get it. I'm kind of shocked, but not shocked, because he led the league last year in errors. But where was that? He wasn't doing that in Washington and LA, right?
Right.
What do you guys think of this? Mike Lauro says he feels a trade for Trout.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't involve Painter or the dude Abel.
Yeah.
Not trading a prospect pitcher for him.
Yeah. See,
Would you give Crawford? Would you give Crawford?
No.
Back to
no.
There you go. Then we ain't doing nothing, because we really don't have a farm system like we said before on the show. It's kind of slim pickings. The apples ain't too ripe on the tree. You got Painter, Abel, Crawford, and trade him Kingery.
See, the thing
Yeah.
is, the thing about Trout that makes me nervous is like, he's not getting any younger. He seems to get hurt a lot, and I am a
He
little
has those
concerned.
nagging injuries. Yeah.
And that contract now. Here's the only way I do the trade. First off, even though Painter's hurt, they say Painter, if he's healthy, could be like a Spencer Strider type pitcher. So I'm not giving Painter up.
Okay.
But to be honest with you, and I think Abel could be good, but by a lot of accounts, Abel's more of like a 2 or 3 starter. So to answer your question, I would give up Abel, and Crawford could be good. I hate the idea of giving him up, but like this team's window to win a World Series is the next couple years. I mean, if they, if they think that Trout can be healthy, and you put Trout in this lineup, I'm giving up Crawford and Abel, and I'm taking the chance because, all of a sudden you imagine replacing Rojas right now with Trout, and then all of a sudden you got Stott, Schwarber, Bohm, Trout, Harper. I mean, that lineup's drastically improved. But then again, if he gets hurt, you're fucked.
And I definitely want to see a lineup change. I'm tired of the same shit. I think we all can agree on that. Get Schwarber out of the tinker it. Like that one time, it was Stott one time, and then Turner. Figure it out. Stop with this analytic bullshit too.
You know what's ironic? I was going to say, you know what's ironic though is that Schwarber's actually hitting like a leader. He's got like 6 hits that aren't home runs this year. He's like,
Schwarber's not the issue right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's far from the issue. It's Nicky 3 buttons.
I wouldn't do this.
I would probably do this.
What, this one right here? Abel, Crawford, and Bohm for Trout and Rendon. I wouldn't. Rendon stinks, dude.
Rendon sucks, dude.
I wouldn't do that. I tell them to go fuck themselves. I tell them to go fuck themselves if they're trying to pawn Rendon on us. Like y'all could eat that.
Yeah,
that's a new trade for me.
He was really good like 2 seasons. He was really good like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, in Washington.
Yeah, he's done, dude. Anthony Rendon, I don't want to. Bohm is actually a really important part of this lineup because he's like Bohm. If you look at this lineup, Bohm's probably one of the most consistent hitters they have. Because even when he's not hitting well, he's drawing walks, he's getting on base. That's the problem this team has. Like, if Castellanos isn't hitting, he's not doing shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what hurts you. Castellanos, like that's why they miss Reese, bro. Like I feel like they miss Reese. Like Reese was a streaky hitter, but like even when Reese wasn't hitting, Reese would draw you like 90 walks a year. They don't really have that shit no more. You know what I mean?
He's doing very well for Milwaukee.
Mike Lauro says Rendon don't want to be there anymore.
And we don't want him.
Yeah, I don't want him. What was that MTV Cribs back in the day where he was like, he's like, you don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's Rendon. You can leave LA, but we don't want you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
All right, well let's look. It's like I said, like Diego said though. I don't want to get too. I mean, Diego did bring up a great point. Like they're still 4-5. This is the same team that made a run last year. These guys. I mean, it's not even hitting season. I mean, when the weather warms up, like I'd be interested to see how they hit this coming week because it's supposed to get a lot warmer.
Yeah.
And They got a series with St. Louis, and then Pittsburgh comes here. So and I don't know if the weather. Let me see what the weather's like this. Let me see if this weekend here. So this weekend when they're home, 65 degrees Friday, 60 degrees on Saturday, 64 degrees on Sunday. So if you think about it, like. That's not like 80 to 90 degrees, but it's a hell of a lot better than like shivering your balls off in like 45. So let's, I mean, bro, when I watched that that Cincinnati game, I thought I was looking at like Brett Favre with like the friggin' air coming out. Remember Favre?
They had the cold headgear on, they had hand warmers. I mean, it don't get no worse than that.
Remember
So-
being a kid? Remember being a kid and playing baseball when it was cold, dude? When you hit that, John, dude, and when you hit that, John, your hands were like sore, man. Remember that?
Not only that, remember playing tackle football up at the
Yeah.
field? That damn grass was concrete. I mean, but we didn't give a shit.
No, we didn't care.
Yeah. Now, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, we banged our heads a few times. That's probably where some of this knowledge comes from. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
Yeah. So, all right, let's look at this week. So, let's see. Is it a 3-gamer with St. Louis or a 4?
I believe so. Yes.
All right, let me look at this schedule here. Phillies. It's probably a 3. They probably got an off day, but let's see here.
No, they're playing tonight at 7:45.
Yeah, no, I know they're playing tonight. I just wasn't sure if they were playing
Yeah.
Thursday. No, actually, you know what? They got 4 with the Pirates. So the Phillies play 3 in St. Louis. Then
Okay.
Pittsburgh comes here Thursday. So it's all right. So the next 7 games, right now, the Phillies are 4 and 5. And like we said, we don't. Baseball is a marathon, so let's not treat it. Let's not treat it like it's a football season. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But how do they do? How do they do in the next 7 with 3 in St. Louis, 4 in here, 4 here versus Pittsburgh? Diego, what do you think?
Probably 4 and 3, 4 and 3, 5 and 2. I'm gonna say 4 and 3. 8 and 8 through 16.
Okay, that's that's all right. That's okay because they never really start off that great. As long as they can be around 500, and then maybe they start making their push. As May approaches, all of a sudden they have a really good May, really good June, and that's when they make their push. What do you think? Mike Laura says 5 and 2. What do you think?
Right
Sean?
there with Mike, 5 and 2. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go 5 and 2. Wait, well, let's see, 5 and 2. Pittsburgh. You know what?
I think we're gonna do. Pittsburgh is hot. O'Neal Cruz, Ryan Reynolds. The whole team is pretty much doing a solid job. But yeah, I think we take some from St. Louis and Pittsburgh. So 5 and 2 it is for me.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 and 3, just because if they gave out awards and standings in like April and May, Pittsburgh would be like one of the best teams in baseball. But
Absolutely.
Unfortunately for them, the season goes on because they usually blow after May. Like last year, if you remember, Pittsburgh was like in first place, I think, and or right around first place, around Memorial Day, even into June. I think they were playing well. And then all of a sudden, once hitting season came, and some of these other seasons, or some of these other teams got hot, like with more talent.
Yeah,
they were screwed, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, yeah, you know what? Hey, we got a lot more time to talk baseball. Obviously since the season started. So there's that. You know what? Real quick before we get on the Sixers, did you guys happen to hear? It was all over Sports Talk today, and I kind of think it's much ado about nothing. But did you see how one of the Dallas radio guys were saying that the team's not happy with Micah Parsons? That they're saying that if Micah Parsons left Dallas, that some people in the organization would be happy. What's your guys' thoughts on that? You think that's bullshit or what? Did you guys hear it?
I mean, if it's true, whoever's saying that's an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's the reason? Do we have a locker room thing, or do we have a?
He talks too much on the internet on his podcast.
Yeah. Like, is he speaking the truth? And they're saying, hold on, but push the brakes a little bit, or is it just BS? I mean,
I'll tell you guys what. Micah Parsons is one of the top 2 or 3 defensive players in the league, and I would give up.
Welcome here
to get him.
He's welcome here.
Yeah, the way he talks, he wants to come here straight up. No sugarcoating it. Just the way he says things. He doesn't even sugarcoat it or hint it. He says the players hurts or whatever he was saying. AJ Brown. He just comes out and says it, and he would be an instant upgrade, like injection in that defense, man. That's going to be your voice on defense. So,
dude, I'll tell you what. As crazy it sounds, I would consider giving up like 2 firsts, and I would consider giving up like. I mean, it's a pipe dream because number one, Dallas wouldn't trade him here anyway. So let's be honest.
I said a first and a second and trade him Dallas Goedert because they wanted him.
No, but like I'm just saying though, like hypothetically, like I would give up 2 firsts, a second or two, and a young player. I'd give up because you put that dude's like a jack of all trades. I mean, he could rush the passer, he could cover. I mean, you could
put him in a
stand up defense.
That's your new Hassan Reddick. That plain simple.
He's better than Hassan Reddick.
I know, I get that, but I'm just saying you use him how you use Reddick. He can go in the coverage. There's not saying, I can't. He can. Stand him up, 3-point stance, whatever. He can put them all around the field, left side, right side, or whatever. I mean, he's a game changer. He changes that plan, that game plan for the offense. Would I love to have him here? Hell yeah.
Tell you what, Parsons is the closest linebacker as far as rushing the quarterback and the other shit he does. I mean, he's the closest linebacker I've seen to Lawrence Taylor since Taylor. I mean, does anybody else come to your mind, Sean? Like, does all the shit that he does? Obviously, you had Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis was strictly a middle linebacker. I'm talking about rushing the quarterback, doing, you know what I mean?
Shit. Derek Brooks, Junior Seau, like that intangible, like getting in there,
Yeah, but they didn't have sacks like this kid. This kid has 40 sacks in 3 years.
You know what? It's like, now that I think about it, like Khalil Mack kinda and LT. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, either way, that's the kind of impact player, that's the kind of impact player that if he did become available, like any team in football, if that was,
you'd be stupid not to.
Any team in football would be calling and saying, "Hey, what's it going to take? Is this shit true?" You know what I mean?
Right.
True. But you're right. I definitely would give up a first, second, next year first. Throw in a player. You want Dallas Goedert? I'll give you Dallas Goedert. You want Burnberry? You can have him.
You're Dallas. You can't trade Michael Parsons. That's like the Rams. That's like the Rams looking to trade Aaron Donald. You know what I'm saying? When he was like in his prime. Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Like Pittsburgh's never traded T.J. Watt. San Fran's never traded Bosa. Dallas ain't trading Michael Parsons.
Yeah,
you'd be stupid not to. Just like you said, you totally changed the dynamic of that team.
Yeah, there's not many players. Like there's not many players on the defensive side that just can completely wreck a whole game by himself. Michael Parsons is probably one of them 3-4 players. He's one of them 3-4 players. By himself, he can completely disrupt the whole entire offense. You know what I'm saying?
He's generational talent.
I
mean, we could talk all day. We know what he does. It's just, what's that one? I think it was the Thanksgiving game. I mean, just the way they put him here, they put him there, and he just wreaks havoc wherever they put him.
You be seeing that shit on the internet, like people inside the Dallas organization. They're like, "What people?" They're like, "Oh, the janitors."
I know, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck out of here.
It's the water boy.
Barry Jones ain't sitting there like, yeah, let me trade Michael Parsons.
Well, you know what it is. I'll be honest with you guys. I wasn't even going to bring it up because I kind of paid it no mind. But
I seen it, and I was like, please let him force his way here.
I kind of paid it no mind.
I'll pick him up.
But they were talking about it on WIP like earlier today. And I was like,
exactly.
And I kind of, it's one of those things that's kind of like a would you know what I mean? And also, let's be honest. I mean, it's kind of like a dead period right now. Like the draft's a little less than what, 2. Actually, no, it's a little less.
April 25th to the 27th.
Okay, so it's a little less than 2 weeks away. You
2
figure,
weeks.
That's
you know,
close, dude.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, we're like 17 days away from the draft. But right now, it's kind of there's a little bit of a low. Like free agency, you had the start of free agency was hot and heavy, and now all of a sudden it's kind of like a waiting period. So, I think you're going to see bullshit like this come out because people are trying to have something to talk about. By the way, one more thing about football. How about the Texans getting Stephon Diggs? That was big news.
Unreal. That offense is crazy.
Yeah. Hit the quarterback, Joe Mixon,
Yeah.
Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Schultz. They just re-signed.
Oh, and Schultz,
That kid's good.
that
And I
offense
think
is crazy.
Dallas is kind of regretting letting him go because look at what the hell he's been doing. I mean, automatic offensive upgrade.
Yeah, Texans. I'll tell you that the Texans are going to be that hot team next year. A lot of people are going to pick them to be that hot like sleeper team that's going to make a run.
Yeah.
Well, D'Amico Ryans is that coach that can bring out the best in you, man, and guys want to play for him. It's not like we don't want to play for him. He's on their level. He's played the game. He knows the game, and he just can get that second or third stringer guy. Bring out the best in him when he doesn't think he has it. He can, But
you know what's funny? You kind of knew D'Amico Ryans was going to be a good coach. Remember when he was with the Eagles and he was like one of the leaders on that defense, like back in like
and breaking down the defense too, like with the film on that tablet, So I mean, I got nothing but respect for him. I love when teams like that are kind of struggling, but then also bringing themselves back up, like Diego said. I like it. They got a bright future. They're probably missing one or two players, in my opinion. But yeah, so
well, it just goes to show you in football, you can go from being really terrible to really good very quickly if you make the right moves. Like I'll give you an example, and I hate to say this team because they're in our division, but I'll tell you right now, Washington. If Washington gets the right quarterback at number 2, like say they take the kid from LSU, Jaden Daniels, right? And say he's good, like he comes in and plays a little bit like a Stroud. I think they also have like $100 million. They might not have $100 million in cap now because they
got a lot of money. I see what you're saying.
Is though they still have a lot of money and they made a lot of nice little depth type signings. That if the kid they draft comes in and plays well, I'm not saying Washington's going to be like a Super Bowl contender right away, but like you've seen it throughout history in football, like they could go from the second pick in the draft to like all of a sudden a year and a half, 2 years from now, all of a sudden being that team where you're like, oh shit, Washington's kind of on the come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens quick, and I hate saying it as an Eagles fan, but I mean it's. And the scary thing about them down there is they're like the sleeping giant as a football market. I mean, Diego, you probably don't remember because you're a little younger, but Sean, you and I remember the days of the Hogs, back when they played in RFK and Joe Gibbs was coaching, man. I mean, Washington.
Johnny Riggins, Ernest Bonner, Terry Davis, right? We can go on like the backs, Brian Mitchell. Yeah, you're right.
That was a tough place to play. They had guys like Charles Mann on defense, Dexter Manley. I mean,
yes,
you got to go way back because Dan Snyder really screwed that team up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Darryl Green was electrifying to watch. He was electric. Probably one of the best corners and return men of that time and era. But you're right.
Yeah, well Here's hoping that they screw up the pick at number 2. Hopefully, the kid they draft is more like a Heath Schuler. Remember they took Heath Schuler? He's fucking
University of Tennessee. Now
he's
the mayor of Tennessee.
Let's hope they draft the Heath Schuler and let's hope they spend money like a bunch of bunch of idiots. You know what I mean? So all right, well let's get into some Sixers. But before I do here, if you're out there, if you got to spend some money on a lawyer, like say you get hurt out there, you slip and fall, and you hurt yourself on the job, whatever it is, or an accident, make sure you call my man Jason Fine, because speaking of money, my man will get you paid, man. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or like I just said, personal injury claims. He's got 3 offices throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey, 1 in Philadelphia, PA, 1 in Cherry Hill, and 1 in Pittsburgh, PA. And one thing I wanted to get into here, as soon as we, I'll get your guys' opinion on this NCAA final game tonight. And once again, starts at like 9:20. So as a guy that gets up at like 6, it's unless it's a great game, I probably won't be watching the whole thing. But if you do try to stay up and watch it and you want to drink some coffee, make sure you have some Monkey's coffee. It's the best coffee in the land. They got the newest flavor, honey agave, and they got barrel-aged honey. So make sure you check them out. And, depending on who you bet on, I kind of like UConn myself. I think the line I saw right now is Connecticut by 6.5.
I kind of like Purdue on the line, dude.
Do you really? Okay.
I like UConn. I think UConn. I had UConn to win the whole entire thing. But my thoughts about the kid Edey. I don't think he's an NBA player. I don't think he's that good.
Nah,
but there's yet to show me one player so far who has been able to take that guy out of the paint and make him do anything else and just get easy buckets around the basket. And I know that UConn's got a couple of good players. What's the dude's name? Clingan. He's going to be an NBA player. He don't even have the size to take Edey out the paint. So I think Edey can get a couple guys in foul trouble. And like I said, I did have UConn winning, but watching them the last couple games, I don't think they have a player on the team to take Edey out the paint. And if you can't take Edey out the paint, you're going to have a close game.
Okay, so you're going. All right, so
I'm not saying Purdue's going to win. I like Purdue getting a 6.5.
All right, so you have this being a down to the wire. So you got this being a sweat, down to the wire.
Yeah, I think it's a close national championship game because I think UConn's more talented, but I don't think they have a player to stop Edey. You know what I'm saying? I think it evens itself out there.
Okay, all right. So Diego says Purdue plus 6.5. All right, but UConn winning.
UConn wins by 5.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say if you like Purdue, then maybe you just want to take them on the money line. You know what I mean? But you're saying so.
I thought about it. They're what, plus 255?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If you think, my thing is if you think it's going to be close and you're not, maybe it'd be worth it. Take them on the money line. You get a good return. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I thought about that already. I think I'm going to go with the points though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. No problem. You know what? That might be good if you think about it. You know what would really be a good thing for you if deep down you really think this could be a close game. Maybe you wait until the game starts. You kind of hope UConn gets an early lead, and then you take Purdue plus more points.
Right.
That could be a thought. Although then again, if Purdue, or on the flip side, if you like Connecticut and you don't want to lay the 6.5, you hope Purdue gets a nice early lead, and then you lay like 2.5 with Connecticut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Like that.
Actually, that's a good idea, John. I might do that. Wait to see how the game starts.
Yeah, because the live, I feel like the live bets are like a game changer when you think about it. Because how many times do you watch these games? And you sit there and like the one team has a lead, and you're just like thinking to yourself, you're like, these motherfuckers are coming back. You could say it. You know what I mean?
I'll give you a perfect example. End of the first quarter in that girls' final, Iowa's up 27-20. I was like, no, they ain't beating these girls. I took South Carolina money line because it went down to minus 108. Mm-hmm. It was almost a pick'em into the first quarter, and South Carolina was big favorites coming into the game.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of like a best case scenario because you could take South Carolina, but you didn't have to lay all the juice.
Exactly. They have to lay all the juice. So that was an easy win. They dominated that second half. Well, by 12.
Gotcha. Well, I got to be honest. I like Connecticut. So we'll see what happens there. But I like Connecticut. I like Connecticut by maybe about 9 or 10, something like that. Sean, what's your thoughts on tonight's game?
Connecticut. I just like the way they move the ball, the way they play offense and defense, and Hurley got them playing. Man, he knows how to coach his kids, play them right. I got Connecticut, just like you, probably by 10.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Diego froze. I was going to say my man's in some deep thought.
Yeah, he is. He is. Look.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get him back in a minute here.
We'll get him.
All right,
I
so
can't believe what I said.
shell shocked.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of basketball, Philadelphia
Mad Max, baby.
Philadelphia
I still frozen?
76ers. Yeah. Here, hang on. I'll try to get him back on in a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so Philadelphia 76ers, I mean, red hot right now. I mean, 5 in a row. And if you look at these standings, we're in the 7. The only thing that sucks, so they're tied with Miami. Well, actually, they're ahead of Miami technically right now because they have one more win. But I think I read where Miami has to lose one more game for the Sixers to wrap up the 7 seed because you want to at least be the 7 seed because then at least then instead of playing in Miami and having to beat them down there, they'd have to come to the Wells Fargo, and that's what I'm hoping.
Absolutely.
So, all right, hang on. I think he's back. Hey, what's up, bro?
Shut up.
That was so funny. You just got done talking, and then you froze. I was like, yo, my man's in some deep thought. So we're getting into the Sixers here, and I got on the bottom if they can make a run, and we're saying the standings. They're technically ahead of the Heat, but I think I read the Heat have to lose one game. We need the Heat to lose one. The Sixers got to win out, and the Heat have to lose one.
Okay.
And the Pacers would have to lose 2 or 3 for us to get the 6 seed. And
I don't think we're getting that. Unfortunately, I think the 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for 7. Let's in a perfect world, let's just hope Miami finds a way to lose, and then we play Miami here, beat them, rest up. Yeah. Let's see what the Pacers got here. Yeah, I don't see 2 losses. I don't see 2 losses. Pacers have at Toronto, and then they have at Cleveland, and then they host the Hawks. I think they go 2-1.
Yeah, they're 2-1.
2-1 at worst, but I'll tell you what, not non-Sixers related, but how about the great job that Glenn Rivers is doing in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Boy, what a
Keep
cluster.
it going, buddy.
They're still a second seed, though, right? They're still a 2.
Well, they said today on WYP, Magic could get the 2 spot.
They could, but the only problem is though the Sixers. We don't want that though because the Sixers play the Magic on Friday night. So if the Magic get the 2, that means they're going to beat the Sixers. So so we don't. So I'm looking here. The Magic are hot. I mean, Magic been playing some good ball. Milwaukee's lost 4 in a row. They're really struggling.
Way to go, Glenn.
They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they're losing to some shitty. I mean, last night they lost to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, and again, Diego. You know what? We're Monday. Me and you both were Monday through Sunday on this, John Dog. Remember when the Bucks got Dame Lillard, and we said, you know what? On paper that looks great, but honestly, I feel like the team might be better as a total team with Drew Holiday because. Dude, once again, Jalen Brunson fucking erupted on Milwaukee. They got no defense, bro.
They got none.
They got no defense. So, as great a player as Dame Lillard is, and and in the playoffs, in close games, I may eat my words because it'll be Dame time. I mean, we all know Dame Lillard could take over a game, so I know I could eat my words. But the bottom line is, opposition guards on the other end are absolutely destroying the Bucks, and that's one of the reasons why they're losing a lot of these games.
Yeah, so Dame can hit big shots. That's why we kept Maxey. For him to hit big shots on Dame.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll tell you, I got to be honest with you guys. I love our matchup. I love the Sixers versus the Bucks, dude. If
Yeah, I
maybe
love it. I got Sixers winning that series. Listen, we're the 17. We got to go on the road. Giannis has been there. Dame's who he is. They still have Middleton. They got Portis. They got Lopez. The team's still nice. You know what I'm saying? So they'll probably still be the favorite going into that series. But I think the Sixers are a little bit better.
yeah, in my heart of hearts, I wish either Cleveland or Orlando would be the 2 seed because I would love that.
Right.
But I mean, I'm looking at these standings here. The Bucks are 47 and 31. You got the Magic 46 and 32, Knicks 46 and 32, Cavs 46 and 33. Cavs probably can't catch Milwaukee. They'd have to like win out, and the Bucks would have to keep losing. So in reality, the only team maybe Orlando could catch them, maybe the Knicks can catch them. I think Milwaukee, even though they're playing like shit, finds a way to keep the number 2 seed.
I agree.
So if the Sixers can find a way to stay at 7 and win that play-in, then you're looking Sixers Bucks first round. And if as long as Embiid's out there healthy, I can't. I mean, I guess I can't say I love the Sixers because you're like Diego. To your point, I mean, the Bucks still are a really good team. They would have home court advantage, and they do have 2 of the best players in the planet. But the Glenn Rivers factor, Nick Nurse as a coach is a major upgrade for us. And I like the Sixers. I think the Sixers are going on a run, dude. As long as Embiid plays.
I agree.
What's your thoughts, Sean?
Couldn't agree more, man. Just need Embiid, porcelain doll, healthy, and just the way this pace of the basketball they're playing. I mean, they can go far, Mad Max last night, 52 points. How many minutes? He said, the nurse, keep me in, coach. I want to take you out. And he just had that dog mentality, And Crumble Cookie, he didn't play last night.
Yeah, it's it's fucked up. It's a good thing when he doesn't play because Batum gets more minutes, and you know what's
KJ Martin has looked awesome.
I just was going to say,
around the board and around the basket. My man is a pretty solid player. He should play pretty big minutes in the playoffs, even though it's not going to be a lot, but like 8-10 solid minutes for him in the playoffs.
Critical minutes, you're right.
And he's small down there, and he gets boards.
He hustles, dude. That's what you need. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have a person that's going to hustle, try to out-rebound you, try to block you, that stuff, instead of a crumble cookie. You don't know what to expect from him. But Ricky Council, too, is another guy, too, they were talking about. So
tell you what, the thing I like about that Cancel kid, man, he ain't afraid. That dude's got a set of balls on him. I mean, he was in
that's
there.
That's what you got to be
playing. I mean, he attacks some of these young guys are like kind of timid. Like he's Cancel is the he's the exact opposite of Ben Simmons.
He wants it. Yeah.
Cancel is like, remember that movie with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, where Bruce Willis had all the he couldn't get hurt, and Samuel L. Jackson
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, yeah.
Well, all right, so Cancel has right, and like a guy like Ben Simmons is like Samuel L. Jackson. You can't do shit. You know what I mean?
Fragile.
He added in a little bit more bitch and Mr. Softy to Simmons.
Fragile. He's fragile.
Yeah, fragile. But yeah, I mean, you can't ask for anything better, man, So hopefully moving forward, man, it's balls to the wall for us, because they are playing some exciting football in my head, basketball,
So, all right, so let's look now. We're down to the nitty gritty here. You got Detroit tomorrow, three home games. You got Detroit tomorrow night, Orlando here Friday, and then you got Brooklyn coming here Sunday.
Win.
I agree. Sean?
I'm going to say a loss with Orlando, unfortunately.
Really?
It's going to be tight. Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, that's not good news.
I hope they make me eat my words, man. I know you guys are. So we'll see.
All right, so I'm going to look now. All right, so All right, so let's base this on them going 3-0.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so the Heat have 4 games here.
Okay.
All right, so the Heat are at Atlanta tomorrow night.
Win.
No Trey Young win, just like Diego said.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if there's a saving grace, the very next night on the second half of the back-to-back, they host Dallas.
Loss.
Gotta pray Dallas beats them, because if Dallas
I think
doesn't,
I just read a stat. Luka and Kyrie a total of like 85 points. Yeah, I like the stat. Yeah, I don't see Dallas losing, so Dallas wins.
Well, and the good thing is, I think Dallas is going to need the game too, because that Western Conference is pretty tight.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully Dallas beats them, because their last 2 games, they host the Raptors. They host the Raptors on Friday night, host the Raptors on Sunday. So the bottom line is
3-1.
Yeah, but if the Sixers win out, the Sixers take them out. If the Heat go 4-0, I'm pretty sure the Heat finish 7, Sixers finish 8. So really, and you know what? In my eyes, guys, but in my eyes, by Wednesday night, we'll know if we're going to be the 7 or 8 seed. Because if Miami goes 2-0 in the next 2, then I think then we're going to have to go to Miami and beat
What
them.
days the play-in start?
I don't know.
End of April.
I know
it's
them days
next
are they're hard set days already. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's the end of April.
Well, it's next week, bro.
Yeah, it can't be the end of April. We got 3 games left.
Yeah.
All right, hang on a second. NBA play-in here. Let me look. NBA play-in tournament. Hang on.
The 19th and the 20th or something like that.
I think
it's got to be.
That sounds about right, because you got the 25th through 27th. I'm just remembering dates for NFL. That's Thursday to Sunday. So
No, it's the 16th through the 19th.
16th through 19th.
Okay. So that's next week or this week.
Yeah, well,
No,
we're 9 days away from a playoff game.
Yeah, because because it's the 8th now. Yeah, because think about it. The season ends on Sunday. So 8, and today's Monday. 8 days from today is next Tuesday. That's the 16th.
There we go. Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah,
And then, and then the playoffs start that weekend. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So you're right in that, John.
We're ready for this shit.
All right.
Mr. Porcelain Doll's gonna go on a run.
Prove me wrong, Joel.
Mike Lauro says 2-2 for Miami, 3-0 for the Sixers. Well, hey,
we're good with that.
If Miami loses 2, then we only
got to win 2.
What's that?
If they lose 2, we only got to win 2.
Right. Maurice Wright said, "Told you Sixers will be the 6th seed probably."
No, we're not going to be the 6th seed.
Huh?
We're not going to be the 6th seed.
No. Well, let me just look real quick. Did I look at the Pacers schedule? I think I did.
You said they play Atlanta. They play another shit Toronto.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, they play the Cavs. Yeah. See, they'd have to lose. Yeah, they'd have to lose 2 or 3. They're at Toronto tomorrow.
Okay.
Friday at Cleveland. They could lose to Cleveland. That's one. Then they host the Hawks. See you know what the problem is though. The Hawks are locked in to the 10 to the either the 9 or the 10. So, well, you know what? If the Hawks may want to play because
they might want to be the 9 seed.
That's what I was just thinking, because that would give them home court versus the Bulls. So maybe the Hawks do play, but if the Hawks got nothing to play for, they're probably going to chill because they know they're going to have to play a play-in in 2 days.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it all kind of comes down to if they have to play or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So what did we say? So you got Diego. You think Miami does lose to Dallas,
Yes.
and you do too, Sean?
I'm not right there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The way they're playing. Yeah.
All right. So that means that next week Miami at Philadelphia for 7 versus 8, and then we gotta hope. You gotta hope the Sixers win that, John. Finish 7th, and then that weekend we got a trip to Milwaukee.
Yep.
Bring it.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what.
Bring the Greek freak. Come on.
I'm ready. It's funny. Sixers Bucks, man. Like back in the early '80s. I mean, this was even before I started watching ball. But I mean, I just remember hearing about it. My grandfather told me about it. Like back in the day, it was like Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics were like the 3 teams. It was Sixers, Milwaukee, Boston was like top 3 teams in the East, and they used to battle it out. And look, I mean, what are we 40 plus years later? All of a sudden, we're back to it. It looks like,
Yeah.
So great, interesting times. Interesting times here.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Playoff time.
What's that?
Playoff time.
Yeah, damn right.
And isn't it funny how things change so quickly in sports? Like think about it. Like although we've been saying if Embiid's healthy that this team can make a run. So I'm not going to go there. But how many people were like, "Oh, the Sixers blow. I'm out on the Sixers." Oh, boy, this Flyers team has a bunch of spunk. And don't get me wrong, I love the Flyers. I'm glad they do. Fast forward a couple weeks, the Flyers have lost 7 in a row, and now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what? This team can make a run,
Yeah. Sports change fast.
They do. But,
damn right. Tables turn real quick.
Yeah, they do. But all right, guys. Well, look, let's get ready to wrap up here. We got, I was going to say NCAA championship game, but shit, it don't even start for 2 hours and 20 minutes. But anyway, go Phillies, go Sixers. Pray for a miracle for the Flyers. I don't know. Maybe somebody give them some energy and get a couple wins. Let's try to sneak in the playoffs. But let's get some wins, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one, guys.
Later.
Later.